Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back, counting down my top 20 favorite home invasion films.
All you have is your fire, and the place you need to reach. Don't you ever tame your demon.
Here's the interesting thing about home invasion films. Where do you draw the line? When is a slasher film just a slasher film? And when is it a home invasion film? Take Halloween, for example. Michael Myers invades homes. And what about Scream? And Black Christmas? Each of those could probably be considered home invasion films. But not to me. It would be tough for me to include one and not the others, so I'm just going to leave all three of those off of this list. Once again, as with all of my lists, it comes down to a matter of opinion, and this is just my personal ranking. There are definitely other movies I could have included, but these are the 20 I selected. I will try to be brief as I go through each of the films, but as always, please feel free to comment below if you'd like to discuss any of them further. And so, here they are, my top 20 favorite home invasion films. Coming in at number 20 is Don't Breathe. This is sort of a reverse spin on the home invasion genre. Typically, we have the villain invading the home of the protagonists, but not in this case. This one features 3 unlucky burglars breaking into the wrong home and facing the deadly consequences. At number 19 is When a Stranger Calls. This is, of course, the original 1979 film, not the remake. Now, granted, it's probably ranked a bit too low. But with that being said, after the first 15-20 minutes or so with those creepy phone calls, the movie's not all that interesting. Most of the suspense is already used up by that point. And although it's a classic of this genre, I couldn't see myself ranking it any higher. My number 18 pick is a movie I also included in my top 30 favorite killer animal films video, Of Unknown Origin. This is sort of a different take on the home invasion genre. Instead of a human invader, this one features an animal invader, in the form of a giant rat. It even says here on the cover, the terrifying last word in home invasion from the director of Tombstone and Cobra. So, I guess it qualifies for this list. However, I'm ranking it this low because I do consider it to be more of a killer animal film, which is why I ranked it much higher on that list. Coming in at number 17 is Wait Until Dark. As if someone invading your home isn't enough, imagine also being blind and in the dark. Alan Arkin is truly chilling in this movie. At number 16 is House on the Edge of the Park. In the simplest terms possible, this movie features 2 of the absolute worst party crashers in the history of film. Coming in at number 15 is Hider in the House. This is an obscure one that appeared in one of my rare movies not on DVD or Blu-ray videos, because, well, it's never been released on DVD or Blu-ray in the US. It stars Gary Busey as a psychopath, which isn't so far-fetched. But just read that tagline. You can't lock him out. He's already in. Very creepy, especially when you're talking about Gary Busey. My number 14 pick has a similar storyline to Hider in the House. Bad Ronald. And this one also appeared in the very same rare movies not on DVD or Blu-ray video. So if you want to know more about this one, or Hider in the House, be sure to check out that video for more information. Coming in at number 13 is Panic Room. This one was directed by David Fincher, who also directed one of my all-time favorite films, Fight Club. It stars Jodie Foster, a young Kristen Stewart, Forrest Whitaker, Jared Leto, who was starring in just about everything at the time this movie was released, and a very scary Dwight Yoakam. Yes, country singer Dwight Yoakam, as the most frightening of the three home invaders. My number 12 pick is a movie I actually reviewed earlier this year when I first returned to YouTube, The Vagrant. This is more of a horror comedy, but it is definitely a home invasion film. It stars Bill Paxton as a guy who, no matter what he does, cannot get rid of a vagrant who keeps coming in to his new house. At number 11 is Funny Games. I was initially going to include the original film, but decided to go with the remake instead, which I do prefer. Specifically because I love the performances by Michael Pitt and Brady Corbett. We're into the top 10 now, and coming in at number 10 is another remake, Straw Dogs. This is yet again another remake that I prefer to the original, specifically because of the performances. I think James Marsden is absolutely fantastic, and Kate Bosworth, well, she's fantastic to look at. Coming in at number 9 is The Strangers. Now this may be a bit surprising for some people because I'm sure others would rank this a lot higher. And I almost considered it. This almost made maybe top 7, top 6, but I dropped it down just a few notches, and I don't really know why. Maybe I just need to revisit this one. I haven't watched it in a while. You know, it's probably the scariest of all the films, I'd say, in my list, but for some reason, I'm just not feeling it right now. You know, looking at the rest of the films left on my ranking, I just felt I needed to rank this one here. At number 8 is a movie that is never, ever talked about. If I Die Before I Wake. I don't understand why this movie does not get more attention because it is awesome. This one is a very short film. It's about 77 minutes, I believe, runtime, about home invaders who, once again, break into the wrong house. They take a family hostage, and a 16-year-old girl decides that she needs to be her family's hero. And it's good. Coming in at number 7 is Clown House. It's a home invasion film with clowns. I mean, how terrifying does that sound? And yes, I say it every time I show this film. I know the backstory, I get it, but I put that aside. I don't consider that when I'm watching this movie. You know, I put that out of my mind. It's a film, and I enjoy it. My number 6 pick is another one like The Strangers that I probably just need to revisit in order to rank it a bit higher. Alone in the Dark. Now, don't get me wrong, I remember loving this film. It's pretty much a slasher home invasion hybrid. I mean, can't go wrong with that, especially for someone like me who loves slasher films. But again, it's been a while since I've watched this one, and I think if I were to rewatch it anytime soon, I'd probably rank this possibly in my top 5. But for now, here it is at number 6. Now, if you guys regularly watch my ranking videos, you'll know that I usually like to throw in an oddball here and there. And for this one, it's appearing at number 5 because my number 5 favorite home invasion film is Home Alone. Once again, I did not say anything about only considering horror films for this list, so hey, it is what it is. I mean, Home Alone is a home invasion film. Think about it. It's a young kid home alone and 2 burglars invade his home. It's fun. It's a Christmas movie. I love Christmas, you know, just as much as I love Halloween, maybe even more. And it was very difficult for me to not actually rank this film higher. It's an awesome movie. Who doesn't love Home Alone? It's an annual watch for a lot of people, and I needed to include it on this list. Coming in at number 4 is a movie that I did revisit recently, Hostage. I love this film. It's another one that does not get enough attention. It's so awesome. Bruce Willis is fantastic. It sort of has a Die Hard vibe, but with more horror elements. It's not really a horror film, but it's definitely not just an action film either. There's a lot more to it. Sort of a hybrid of genres. And Ben Foster is ridiculously creepy. I mean, that scene with him coming down the hallway with the burning bottles and the flames engulfing the house around him. Wow. I mean, he definitely deserves more credit himself. I don't know why that guy is not a bigger name in Hollywood because he truly, truly deserves to be. We're into the top 3, and coming in at number 3 is A Clockwork Orange. This is another one of my all-time favorite films, and while I don't consider it to just be a home invasion film, it definitely includes the greatest home invasion scene of all time. And you know which one I'm talking about. Singing in the Rain. At number 2 is a movie that not only features home invasion, but life invasion. Fear. Mark Wahlberg is a genuinely scary dude in this film, and William Peterson is awesome as the heroic dad. The final showdown is so memorable and so satisfying. And that roller coaster scene isn't so bad either. And so, we've reached the top. My number 1 favorite home invasion film is The People Under the Stairs. I started this list off with a reverse twist on the home invasion genre, and I'm ending it that way. Because in this movie, it is not the villains that invade the home of the protagonists, but it is the protagonists that invade the home of the villains. I'm a huge Twin Peaks fan, so I sort of have a soft spot for this film, because of the cast. And it's also, in my opinion, one of Wes Craven's very best films. Quite possibly my favorite or second favorite movie by him. There is definitely an originality to this movie, and I watched it so many times growing up, and I love it to this day. And it's my all-time favorite home invasion film. So that's it, guys, for my top 20 favorite home invasion films. Let me know what your favorite home invasion films are in the comment section or in a video response. I'd love to see your ranking. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.